All right. Well, sometimes when we do these lessons, we're looking at playing the right notes over the right chords and talking really specifically about theory and you know, theoretical approaches and all that. And sometimes we're just picking a key and playing licks as fast as we can and having fun. And that's what we're doing in this lesson here. So I picked 3 licks out of the solo you just saw. If you want to get the note for note tablature for the solo you just saw, join my site, guitarlickdojo.com. There's a link in the description. So what I want to do today is just go over a few licks, note for note, as much as I can, and walk you through those. And then also talk about some ideas for how to take bigger licks like these and pull out little pieces of them so you can make your own licks a little bit easier. So I'll talk about that little concept for each one of these licks. So let's go over the first one. And this first one, before I get into the lick, I'll refresh you on my tone. I'm using a tone that I used recently for a Hendrix style fuzz lesson. I'm using the same exact tone. So quick review of that if you did not see that lesson. I'm playing through a digital simulation here. I'm playing through a Line 6 Helix. And the amp is basically a model of a JTM 45 Marshall. Sounds like that with a little bit of plate reverb. And I added 2 things on top of it, a fuzz to get that sound right there, and then I also added a univibe. That gets that rotary speaker type of sound. So that's the effects that I'm playing with right now, the basic sound. Okay, so this first lick is a really simple, and we're playing everything's in the key of, using the scale of E minor pentatonic, basically E minor blues. So this first lick is a basic call and response type lick, really kind of bluesy. So it goes like this. So pretty simple lick, but I think with pretty good phrasing. It's got a nice little call and response vibe to it. So the first part, we're playing in this position of the E minor pentatonic scale. Right there. And we're hammering up 7/9 on the 4th string and the 3rd string. So, and then we do that 7 on the 3rd string, 9 on the 4th, 7 on the 3rd. I'm doing down, up, downstroke. And that's the first part of the lick. So that's, if we're looking at this as a call and response type lick, that would be the call part. And the second phrase is a response to that lick. So again, I like the phrasing here. And here's the second part of the lick again. So that next part, we're doing this. Just climbing up the E minor pentatonic scale. Then we do this. And that's just strict alternate picking, starting with the downstroke. In this next part, we do this. In the solo, I actually played a half step bend. You could also do a full step bend. Full step bend is more correct, quote unquote, because that note is in the E minor pentatonic scale, whereas the half step bend up is not. You can still get away with it, those little half step bends, and sometimes they sound really cool, but you can go either way. And then the last part is just pull off 10/8 on the 2nd string and then 9 on the 3rd. So really simple lick. Doesn't take an incredible amount of technique to be able to play this, but try and play it slowly and try and play it perfectly. So that's the goal here. All right, that's it with the first lick. Let's play it through one more time at a slow speed. Okay, here is the second lick. Now, the second lick is where I'll start to talk a little bit about the concept I mentioned at the beginning, where you can take these bigger licks and pull just little pieces out of them, little simple pieces to make your own licks, and take those little pieces and expand on those ideas. And you don't need to learn the whole lick to get something out of this, right? You don't need to learn every one of these licks I show you. You don't need to learn it note from beginning to end. There might be a 3-note sequence that you like that you can use. Learn that one little piece and make your own thing out of it. So this one, let me play it through kind of slowly a little bit, so you get an idea. It sounds a little something like this. That's it, basically up to speed. So this first part here, where I'm basically just kind of moving down the scale this way, E minor scale in this case. That kind of idea right there. So let me play that first part just really slowly. So that's an example of a part of the lick where you can learn just that and apply it in a lot of different situations. You don't need to learn the rest of the lick. If maybe that's the only part of this lick that you like, just take that and move on. But this is a nice little concept that translates very well to other types of licks and other places on the fretboard. So I got this right here. Now that I have that, let's say I get that down, why can't I just do that same thing but do it at a different place in the neck, maybe using different notes in the scale? Or just use that general concept and do something much bigger. You know, I'm just noodling around now. But the idea is I took this really simple idea and I took that general idea where I'm just moving down a scale in that direction, kind of hammering on and pulling off in every position. And I moved it to other places in the neck, and I came up with some different things. So that's one of the ideas that I want you to take away from this lesson here. So don't pay attention to the phrasing so much. You know, don't think that you have to get all the triplets and all the 32nd notes and all the 16th notes really down. Just get the basic idea of the lick down, and then try and play that over a jam track, and maybe you do it much differently, the phrasing and the timing much different than I do. So, you know, maybe you're playing over the jam track and it sounds much slower. Same basic idea of how I'm moving up and down the neck, but I'm playing with different timing and different feel and landing and emphasizing different notes and all that. So for this lick and in the next lick that I'm going to show you after that, experiment with that. You know, take little pieces of the lick that you like and mess around with them, change the timing, take out different pieces of the lick and experiment with just those pieces of the lick and come up with your own thing. So let's move on here. So, and then the next part of the lick is this. Same thing here. Maybe you like just that part of the lick, where I'm kind of moving in a sequence down the neck. You can take that concept and move it to other places in the neck. So maybe as so taking that one little concept and applying it other places, not necessarily learning this lick note for note. That's not the most important thing. So let's break this one down though. So it starts off 7/9 hammer on, 8 on the second string, I'm doing an upstroke, then downstroke on the 9/7. So that pull off on the 9/7 is a downstroke, 9 on the 4th string is a downstroke. Upstroke, do the 7/9/7 pull off. And then the next two notes is 9/7 on the 4 and 3. And then we do the slide using the 3rd finger down from 9 to 7. Another good reason to learn licks like this too, just pick out parts that you like and expand those and try and make your own licks out of those. If you don't have the technique to play this lick very fast, that's okay. You can take a lick like this that maybe I'm playing faster than you can, but you can modify it to fit your level of ability. So maybe you can only get the lick possibly up to this fast. That doesn't mean you can't use the lick. It doesn't mean you can't play the lick. You just play it in a way that suits your abilities. So, or your tastes. So maybe I just play it slower. When I take that concept and I play slower licks using the same general idea where I'm moving down the scale in a sequence. And maybe I mix up the phrasing a little bit, just play it slow and play unique phrasing. Something like that. So when you learn a lick, do that with it. You know, really experiment with the different timing and phrasing and make it fit your tastes and level of ability. So let's play through this lick one more time at a slow speed. All right, for this last lick, I wanted to include one of the really fast ones. There's a lot of fast runs in this solo. If you want to get all those fast runs note for note, again, join my site. I picked one here that I thought sounded good. So I'll go through it and I'll pull out some little ideas throughout. So the first part of the lick is this. We're just playing in the E minor pentatonic scale. There's an example of a nice little lick that is repeatable and you can translate to other places in the scale very easily. Again, don't feel like you're locked into playing this one position and at the speed and all that. So that's the first part of the lick. And then the next part of the lick, we got this. It's really slow. I'm starting at the 15 on the second string. That's a downstroke, upstroke, then downstroke, down, up. So you can take little pieces of that and make your own thing. So maybe I just want to do that. Once you play these little patterns, you get good at these little patterns, you can start to connect them together without thinking too much about it. So you get that first one down. And you're able to kind of throw it into licks on the fly. So that's the lick so far. So far we have this. The second part of the lick goes like this. Another lick that you can use in a lot of different areas. So again, get the basic idea of the lick down, and if you get the idea of the lick rather than the lick note for note, then you can use it many different places, not just that one place, not just in that one place, in that one key, in that one scale. Take it and take the idea, play it in a bunch of different scales, play it all over the neck in that same scale. So these are really, really generic blues ideas here. So expand them as much as you want to. So let's go through this lick note by note here. So bend up on the 15th fret, then upstroke on the 12th fret, downstroke 15 to 12 on the second, downstroke on the 14th, upstroke on the 12 to do the 15 hammer on and pull off. You can even throw a bend in on the 14 if you want to. If you want to get, you know, Hendrixy, Stevie Ray Vaughan-ish. Then we do this slide down from the 15th to the 14th on the 3rd string. Downstroke, and then we can do another downstroke, hammer to hammer the 12 and the 14 and the 3rd. So the whole second part of the lick is slow like this. There it is, up to speed. So let's play through the entire thing from beginning to end. It sounds a little something like this.